What's up, guys? So today we're going to do a little bit of a recovery style workout. Technically this is like recovery yoga, but I'm kind of combining it with a little bit of the functional range conditioning principles. So it's kind of stretching, kind of workout in between. I recently hurt my rib, so I need to kind of move my spine in a particular way so that way my rib can get a little bit of stress, but not too much to where I may re-injure it or aggravate it to where it takes longer to heal. The goal is not for it to take longer to heal, the goal is for it to heal correctly. Okay, so the first one we're gonna do is, I'm not sure if you've seen the previous video, but we start with one of the other videos I've done, we start with a yoga block. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna do a chest opener, and we're gonna do it for 2 minutes. So what I do is I have my iPad off to the side and set myself a timer. So I actually put 2:30 because it takes me about 30 seconds or so to actually sit into the position. So all you're gonna do is you're gonna take a yoga block. You're gonna kind of get yourself in child's pose. So you're gonna kind of open up your knees, put your big toes together, sit back, drop down on the elbows. You're gonna squeeze the block and you're gonna put it behind your head. You wanna drop your forehead down to the ground. And just breathe through this position. Sorry about the dogs, guys. There's dogs in the back right here. With each breath, you want to try to melt down towards the ground. Bring the block as close as you can. So I call this position kind of arm triangle. Think of it as like when you get in an arm triangle, basically. In order for you to finish the arm triangle, you want to put your arm as close as you can to the person's head, or their arm as close as you can to their neck so that it cuts off supply. In this position, we're just kind of stretching your back, opening up the thoracic area, kind of bringing the chest down towards the ground as you sit back on the hips. Slowly bring yourself out of it. Turn off the timer. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna just do some flexion and extension for the neck area. So you wanna sit on table, you wanna sit in tabletop. It's called tabletop position. So tuck your toes, keep your hips over your knees. Hands wide, a little bit wider than your shoulder. You want to splay your fingers, basically separate your fingers as much as you possibly can. You want to externally rotate your shoulders, and you're going to feel your shoulder blades engage. Once you hold that, once you're here, what you're going to do is you're going to irradiate, which means just a total body tension. And then all we're going to do is we're going to do 5 to 10 neck flexion and extension. So all you're going to do is double chin it down. And then really try to bring your chin as high up as you possibly can. And then repeat. That was it for me. I did 6. That was enough. The next one we're gonna do is basically a prone chest opener. So with me, I have a yoga booster, but you can use a pillow, you can use blankets, you can basically anything that's gonna elevate you. All you're gonna do is you're gonna place it like in the middle of your back, and you're gonna try to melt over the actual yoga booster, and then we go back to the same 2-minute rest. So set the timer again. You gotta find that right spot. Extend your legs out in front of you. There's different places you can put your arms. You can put your arms out to the side. You can externally rotate them. Me personally, what I like to do is I actually like to grab opposite elbows and then just kind of let gravity kind of pull your arms down towards the ground. And you're gonna feel your lower back, all the muscles of your erectors kind of firing in order for you to like hold this position. Because basically what you're doing, you're stretching, and the muscle in your back is shortened. And so they have a tendency to feel like they're gonna contract because they're not used to being shortened like that way. Especially if you do a lot of jiu-jitsu. Because if you're doing a lot of jiu-jitsu, you're in a flex position quite a bit. So it's like a weird feeling of like hurt, but feel good at the same time. Switch arms, switch which is on top. And then once you start feeling like your body's relaxing over the yoga booster or the pillow or whatever, what I start trying to do is I start trying to reach like my heels away from me. And the same thing with my upper body. What it does is it tells your hip girdle to like elongate, so think long. So kind of like almost, you're not really pulling yourself away, but you're trying to reach your body away from itself. So you try to reach your arms up over your head and your back, or excuse me, your legs at the same time. And slowly get out of it. Then we're gonna do the same flexion and extension, but what we're gonna do is we're gonna move down the spine a little bit. So think of it as cat-cow, but like in a limited, what you do is you sit back on your calves so that your hip girdle or the second half or the bottom half of your back can't actually move. And from here, we're doing the same thing. You're externally rotating, opening up your hands, splaying your fingers. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna do a cat-cow from this position. And if you're doing this right, you're gonna feel like almost like a muscle cramp in the middle of your back, and you're gonna feel these muscles here stretching. Which is what we want. As jiu-jitsu players, these muscles are overworked to hold our head up when we're sitting in guard. And that causes pain. I'm sure most of you have felt when you do like a hard day of training, where your shoulder girdle hurts, but you're not sure exactly where the pain is coming from. That's where it is. It's overworked muscles on the front part of your spine, or excuse me, of your neck. That was it, did 5 there. Okay, and the very last one that you want to do is with the resistor ball. So basically the same chest opener, but you're gonna be using the ball as like an outside force to kind of help you round backwards, basically. So let's set the timer again. 2.5 minutes. Walk this back. And literally try to melt over the ball. Find different places where you can melt over the ball, interlock your fingers. Explore your body a little bit. See where you can find space, move around a little bit, find out what feels good. Like I told you, I have a hurt rib. So like this whole side, my obliques, my back, my pec on my left side is really, really tight because my body is hurt. So when your body is hurt, it cramps more to protect itself. The only problem is that cramping inhibits the body from healing faster. So the best way to do it is to try to tell it to relax. And these are the things that we're doing to tell it to relax. Slowly get out of it. Turn off the timer. And then all we're going to do is just a combination of the first exercise and the second one. So we're just going to do one behind the other. So get back into the tabletop, tuck the toes, knees underneath hips, weight over your wrist, splay your fingers a little bit wider than shoulder width, externally rotate the shoulders. From there, we're going to do the neck flexion and extension. And when you're doing this, just think double chin when you tuck under. And when you look up, think chin towards the ceiling. I lost count. I think this is 5. I hope this is 5. Because it's not easy. Then you sit back, you walk your hands back. Same principle. But now we're doing it with the upper back. Cat cow. This is quite hard. And that's it. So this thing you should be doing, like I mean, obviously you do it when needed, but I would recommend trying to do it at least once a week. because of the fact of how much flexion that we are in jiu-jitsu. Think of it this way. This is when you're sitting in guard, you're like this. When you're on your back, you're flexed, all these muscles are working, your ab muscles are working. This is all the situations that you're in, from here to all kinds of different directions. You're always in this position, kind of balled up. So all this anterior side is all overworked. So the stuff that we just finished doing basically goes the opposite direction. In two ways. We stretch the front part by doing that little 2-minute stretch, and then we strengthen the extension as well as the flexion, but extension more than anything else. And those muscles need to kind of learn to be as close as possible to the strength of the anterior side from all the jiu-jitsu that you do. Guys, let me know if you have any questions.